trying to like line up my head with the corner of the room. I feel like I need more backlighting. I don't have any. This is my first video in new space. I'm ready. Oh, I didn't get the audio. Okay, I don't want to get my usual audio set up, so I'm just recording this with this thing on my phone. At the time that I am recording this video or putting this video out, we'll be about 3 weeks into the season of Lent, which is exciting because it's almost a halfway point. I think there's about like 3.5 weeks left to go. So almost halfway point. So just want to do like a little Lent check-in of how you doing? How have your Lenten resolutions been going? And if you've been just like failing your Lent resolutions, or if you've been accomplishing your Lent resolutions but begrudgingly and hating it, then I want to say that you're failing. And we're just going to talk real quick about the right way, especially to fast during Lent, and to make your fast actually something fruitful for the rest of your life. This year, I feel like I'm actually fasting, like I'm actually doing something that feels really hard as compared to years past. I know I've done difficult stuff in years past, but I'm feeling it this year. But I think the difference, like I'm also feeling just like a real difference in like the effect that it's having on my life, like spiritually as well, because I feel like I'm embracing the fast and the spirit of the fast for the fruits that it's supposed to bear. Because fasting is really not just supposed to be like level 1 of fasting is you're giving something up that is hard to give up, right? And that there is some amount of like difficulty there. And it's kind of a penance of like we've sinned before God, so we ought to try to rectify the situation and do some sort of penance. So we do something that's hard and we give something up just for that sake. Level 2 or 3, I think like the two things that maybe we miss, if all we're doing is like we decide on something that we give up and it's really hard and we don't like it, then I think we're missing the maybe 2 other things that we can be and should be doing which will bear fruit of our fast. The first of which is not just to endure the fast, but to embrace the fast. That in the moments where it's like actually hard, the moments where whatever you gave up, you notice it, like you feel it, and however deeply you feel it, but like, oh man, I'm really missing this thing, or it aches or it hurts that I don't have this comfort that I would usually have, to be able to not just endure it and say, I can't wait until this is over so I can finally have this thing, but to embrace it in a way where you say, I don't have this thing, and yet I'm okay. And yet I can make it, and yet I find other things to fill the space. So I've used this example a million times, but back in the day in senior year of high school, I did like an intense diet where I was like really restricted in the amount of calories that I ate during the day. So I was just hungry all the time, similar to the idea of fasting. But the entire time I made just like lists of what I would eat when I was done. Like I was always thinking about when I would be feasting and just like just enduring the fast instead of embracing the fast. And that resulted in like, just like ate a ton and like binge ate my way out of the end of that diet. Really, if the end goal was for me to get in like the best shape of my life in doing that, I was in the best shape of my life for like a few days. And then I just like filled back up with food and lost all the progress I'd made, 12 weeks of incredible dieting, and just binge ate my way back up to like the 20 something pounds I lost, gained it all right back. If we want to bear fruit from the fasting that we do, we need to actually embrace the thing that we're doing so as to grow in self-control and detachment from the things that we're fasting from. If we spend our entire time just waiting and hoping and aching for when we can finally have this thing back, then we're not actually detached from it, maybe at all. Maybe we're even more attached to it than we were before because it's like, I can't wait until I can have this thing back. When actually the goal is for us to be able to say, I don't have this in my life. It's really hard, but I can make it without it. And it's fine. To be able to embrace the fast, to embrace the lack of whatever it was that was filling us before. And then from there, in those moments when we're like hurting or aching or wishing we had something. One, to be able to offer it up, to like make that a place of prayer, to invite the Lord into the ache where we're missing the things that we're fasting from, and to offer it up for like, I'm suffering in some way right now because I can't have this thing that I'm fasting from. So whatever ache, whatever lack that I'm feeling, Lord, I pray that my suffering or my dissatisfaction with this would bear fruit in like the redemption of the world and the life of another person who's suffering way more than I am. Lord, I offer up the suffering for the sake of someone else. That's where our fasting bears a lot of fruit for other people. And especially another way where it can bear fruit for us is where I then take the space that fasting has created in my life, where I get rid of some other things, and then what do I fill my life back up with? Because fasting is about more than just becoming empty individuals. It's about creating space to be filled. So when I am giving things up, what am I refilling myself with? With prayer, with good things from the Lord. And that's where it bears fruit for me, where I've grown in self-control and detachment from the things I'm fasting from, but I'm also like growing in virtue and grace and being refilled by the Lord. And I know we're about halfway at this point, and I feel like you get however long into Lent, and if you failed or if you feel like it's not going well, then you say, well, forget it, I'll try again next year. But no, we still got 3.5 weeks, and it's been 3 weeks now. If it's been hard for you, the next 3.5 weeks could be hard for you too. So maybe now is a time to take up the challenge once again, and maybe to take it up with a renewed lens of not just enduring the fast, but embracing the fast so as to bear the fruit of detachment and self-control, to offer it up for other people and to be refilled by the grace of the Lord in this Lenten season over the last 3.5 weeks. Okay.